Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And in this video, I just wanted to give a couple of tips on making some clean and crisp cards using our Whisper White note cards and envelopes. They also come in very vanilla, but you can get like 20 of these with cards and envelopes and make some really nice note cards to send. And if you have minimal supplies, I'm hoping that this video will help you. So first off, the card is smaller than what we call our standard size card at 5.5 by 8.5. So the finished card is 3.5 by 5. Okay, and it's great. It still goes through the mail with first class postage here in the US. But on the front, you know, when you have a stamped image, you need to consider size and what you're going to do to embellish or layer it. So for this particular card, I picked this stamp from the Poppies set, the Painted Poppies set. And when I'm working with minimal supplies and I just want to make a really clean and crisp card, I'll take the stamp itself and I will measure it. And I'll move this up where you can see. And so I just put it over here on the end and I see that it is about a little over 3 inches maybe by 2. So when I cut my cardstock for this stamp, I'll cut it 1/4 of an inch bigger. So I'm going to cut it at 2 1/4. Here it is, 2 1/4 by 3.5. Okay. So, you know, if I give it ample room to stamp the image, it's like this is going to be a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch bigger than the stamp going width-wise, and height, I'm going to cut it 1/4 of an inch bigger. So that's what determines this. Okay, so it's just, you know, you want the stamp to fit and have a little bit of border around the edge. Okay, so then you can see I chose these colors. Well, the colors all depend on what you have for this particular technique. Just if you have cardstock or designer paper, and you can start with that to determine what colors you're going to use on your image. And so this is just colored very simply. This color is Blackberry Bliss, and so I chose Blackberry Bliss to back it. And this, since this is cut 2 1/4 by 3 1/2, I cut this 1/4 inch bigger. So this is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And when you layer that over top, you'll have a very nice card, and the layer behind it breaks up the white and makes your image really stand out. Then if you wish, you can always stamp a sentiment here below. Thank you, happy birthday, whatever you need. Now another idea using the same stamp, say you have some patterned or designer paper. Okay, so I chose this one. And then that is what determined the colors that I used here. So instead of using an olive for the stems, I used mint macaron, which is what this color is, and then just chose a complementary color for the flowers. And so this is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 to layer over the top of the card base. And then you can take your image here and not have to back it and just put it there on the front and write your sentiment inside the card. So let me show you another look for that. Here I stamped this deer, okay, and he was pretty narrow, okay. So when I measured him, I measured enough, and the let me see, I have it written here, 1 1/2 by 3 1/4. So when I measured him, he was about 1 1/4 inches wide by 3 inches tall. So I cut this 1 1/2 by 3 1/4, and that left plenty of room to stamp the deer. So I have 2 of those stamped, just no coloring, straight stamp. So if we're going to use the cardstock backing, I chose the same color that I stamped the deer in, cut it 1/4 inch bigger, and that's going to go on the front of the card. Okay. Then if you want to go the designer paper method, here is this cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Put that there and layer it up like that. Now you could also combine these two and do that. Okay, so I hope that helps. It's just all in cutting your cardstock just big enough to stamp your image, okay, and then deciding with what colors you have to use as far as paper for the background or a layer behind your image. That can determine the colors you use on the image itself, and then you can have some really nice cards that you assemble using very minimal supplies. Okay, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com. Be sure you sign up for my mailing list where you can get lots of ideas, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.